Hey, this is Gav from Hiking for Health, and today I'm going to do a gear loadout of the stuff I take when I go wild camping. I haven't packed light, I've packed what I would take for comfort, but as I go through the video, I'll show you how I could reduce the weight in this pack. So the pack I'm going to be using in this video is the Osprey Aether 70 AG, and it's an all bells and whistles pack. It's certainly not the lightest, but it'll pack just about anything you want. And if I wanted to go a bit lighter, I would fit my gear into this Osprey Exos 48. But for the purpose of this video and to show you more gear, I'm using the Aether 70 today. So the lid of this Osprey Aether is removable, which is great because then it can come in the tent with you. Now, I tend to keep everything that I need close at hand in this part of the bag. At the very top, I keep my sponge for wiping the tent down if it's been raining or for condensation. Then I have the rain cover for the bag. In the main compartment, I carry my first aid kit, a pair of sunglasses, my head torch, the light for my tent. Sometimes I don't take this because I've got a light on the flex tail, mini pump, my toiletries bag with toothpaste, toothbrush, another toiletries bag with wipes, midge spray, trowel, that type of stuff, my Sawyer mini water filter, and then another bits and bobs bag with a midge net, my flex tail pump, some pegs, the type of pegs that you'd hang things out with, so if I need to dry something on my tent, and a compass, lighter, that kind of stuff. So that all fits in the lid, and as I say, it's removable. There's also on the bottom of the lid, there's another zipped compartment where I tend to put my wallet and my phone when I'm not using it. Okay, so now to the stretchy compartment at the front. The Osprey Aether has a lot of compression straps, so you can cinch your bag right down. But in the front, I tend to keep my gloves, a beanie hat, a Merino buff, just love this, everybody should have one, my cap, and then my Berghaus waterproof shell and my waterproof trousers, Berghaus Deluge. These are also very good, not the lightest, but definitely worth having. In the side stretchy pockets of the bag, I keep my tent poles. On this side, my litre of water, and then a sit mat. So cheap, so light, everybody should have one. I also use my walking pole with some Gorilla Tape around the walking pole for emergencies. And then in the main section of the pack, right, so let's have a look from the top. In here, I keep my spoon, my food bowl, if I need it, don't always take that, and my cup. And then any food I tend to bring with me goes in here also. Usually it will be a couple of those dehydrated packs, fire pot ones, or even just a cheap pot noodle or pasta sauces, that type of stuff. Okay, in my red bag, this is where I tend to keep my electrical items. So in here I've got my charging cable, I've got my DJI Osmo 6, which is a bit of a luxury. It's quite a weight, but great to take. My Joby Gorilla Pod, my Anker charging station, 20,000 milliamp. A selfie stick, don't always take this if I'm taking the Osmo 6, and then a pair of headphones for the iPhone. At the very top, I take my Microlight Alpine Rab down jacket. Jetboil gas, usually take the smaller canisters, but just happened to buy a bigger one this time. My cook set is the Jetboil Minimo. Here I've got my spare clothes. Now, I don't always take everything that I've got in here, but I wanted to show what I would take if I was taking a full pack. But I've got some Bridgedale Merino socks, an AlpKit Merino top, some Merino sleep socks, thermal top, Numi I think it's called, from Amazon. Took a bit of a chance with that and it's turned out really good. And the bottoms, a Decathlon Merino t-shirt. These are brilliant. I recommend these, but I'll show you this in more detail in a minute. A pair of Montane Terra trousers, a Rab hoodie, and that's that. Wouldn't necessarily take all of those items. I may be wearing the Rab hoodie, I might be wearing the Terra trousers, but this is if I was doubling up on everything. And they go in the green bag. Then I've got my Decathlon memory foam pillow, a real luxury. It's heavy, about 0.5 kg I think. I do have one of the Trekology inflatable pillows, just couldn't get on with it. So, and with sleep being so important for the next day, I took a chance with this and it's been brilliant. A Fathom EV300 OEX sleeping bag. This is summer, late spring, early autumn. It's something I need to look into. Trinordic Sleeping Mat, 550 grams. R value of 1.8, so again, summer, early autumn, that type of thing. Here I've got my Robens table, don't always take this, and a windshield for my Jetboil Minimo. And then at the very bottom of the bag is my tent, which is the, at the moment, the one I've got in here is the OEX Bobcat1, which I've done a review on before. And then a spare dry bag, just in case I need it. Okay, so let me get all this sorted and organised, and then I'll go through it in a bit more detail. Well, now that the gear's out, I'll get the tent up and then go through some of the gear in a bit more detail. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll break things into sections. I'm going to start off by talking about my sleeping set and a little bit about my mat, sleeping bag and pillow. So the sleeping bag I'm using is the Fathom EV300. I've had this about 4 years. It's a 2 or 3 season sleeping bag. Great for the summer, early autumn and late spring, but I need to invest in a new sleeping bag for the winter months. It's great, it's comfortable, it's lightweight for what it is, So I'm pleased with this. It's something I'll keep, but I'm looking for a warmer bag. The pillow I'm using at the moment is this Decathlon memory foam pillow. I stumbled across it one day when I was in Decathlon, and it was £20, and it compresses well. It's not the lightest of pillows, but it's the closest thing I've found to a pillow at home. So sleep's obviously important when you're wild camping, so you can have a good day the next day and you're not feeling too tired and grumpy, and this does the trick. The sleeping mat I'm using at the moment, I swapped this out. I used to have the UL80 from Trekology, which was all right, but I prefer the Trinordic. It's 1.8 R value, so more of a summer sleeping mat. It's 550 grams. It's not ultra lightweight, but it's great. It's comfortable. It's quite low. There's lots of hexagons on the sleeping mat, so the weight's evenly distributed. And if you inflate it just right, not too much, not too little, you can just hit that sweet spot. So the cook set I'm using at the moment is the Jetboil Minimo. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm yet to get the skillet. I did buy an OEX pan, lightweight pan, but didn't last too long. So I'm looking to swap the pan out for the Jetboil skillet at some point. But this is great, boils water really fast. I'm really pleased with the Minimo. Gas at the moment is Jetboil, but I do use the Primus. I've got a Lifeventure titanium spoon, which is great for getting into those dehydrated meals. And from Lifeventure, I've got one of those Sea to Summit style mugs, which is very lightweight. And I don't always take this, but I've got the bowl that comes with it. I've also got the Robens table, which sometimes I take along, depending on if I need it. And that's great for popping there in the entrance to your tent, popping everything on it. And then also I've got my Karrimor Windshield, which I can place around the Minimo if I need it. I also take 1 litre of water with me. But water obviously weighs a lot, so I also take my Sawyer Squeeze water filter. So as a light and a pump for my sleeping mat, I've got the Flextail Tiny Pump 2X, and it works double click, another click for off. It's got a little hanger, a metal hook, so you can hang it inside your tent, and also this doubles up as a light as well. It's got low setting, medium and high, and trust me, when that's on, it lights up your tent really, really well. If I'm not taking that, then I do have this, but I don't really need this now that I've got my mini pump. In terms of gloves, hat, beanie, this is my Merino buff, which is great because you can fold it, wear it on your wrist. You can use it as a bandana for your hair, around your neck. It's a great bit of kit. Also, you can use it to wipe things down if you need to. Everybody should have one of these. My gloves are Karrimor. I've had these a while. They fit well, and they're comfortable. They're warm too. I've got several beanies. This is just the one I have at the moment with me. It's a woolen one. And I have my North Face cap with me also. This is great if I need to wear my midge net. So I've been caught out by midges too many times, so I invested in a midge net. I usually wear this with my baseball cap to keep it off my face. Trowel, no explanation needed. Here I take my first aid kit. I tend to empty this and fill it with things that I need for that particular trip. Tend to take things like ibuprofen, paracetamols, hay fever tablets, all the essentials, Germaline, that type of stuff. Midge spray and wipes. In this Osprey toiletries bag, I tend to keep my toothpaste, my toothbrush, earplugs, hand wipes, that type of thing. This changes regularly. Looking into getting some tablets instead of taking toothpaste. Other bits and bobs, head torch, spare lighter in case the Minimo doesn't light, but the Minimo has never failed, so never really used that. Compass, sponge for the tent if it rains, OS Maps. I also have the OS Maps app on my phone, but a mixture of the two. Belts and braces. Moving on to spare clothes. I usually wear a Merino t-shirt to go with me, and then I'll have one spare in my pack. These are excellent. They're from Decathlon. Such a great t-shirt, and certainly keeps me cool and warm. For nighttime, I've got an AlpKit Merino long sleeve top. A Rab hoodie. A Rab Microlight Alpine down jacket. Berghaus Deluge waterproof trousers. A Berghaus waterproof jacket. A pair of Merino wool sleeping socks. A spare pair of Bridgedale walking socks, which are Merino also. And then if the conditions require it, I tend to take these thermals. These are from Amazon. They're called Numi, but they're great. They're stretchy, they're warm, and the bottoms come with the top. And then these, I've got two pairs of these. I've got the black pair and the grey and black pair. These Montane Terra trousers are just fantastic. Brilliant trousers. These Karrimor dry bags are excellent. Great value for money. Come in different sizes. Use this for electricals. Tend to use this one for food. This one for extra clothing. And then this one just as a spare. But they're great. Great quality. And roll top. So to secure it, roll 3 times. And then just clip at the top. My walking poles are quite basic. They do the job at the moment. Something I need to swap out. I tend to keep Gorilla Tape on here. Something I saw on a channel called Walks with Ollie. He did something similar, so I thought that was a great idea. The brain of the Osprey Aether. The Exos also does the same thing. It's got clips at the back and can clip off. I got these pegs from a Karrimor clothesline, and I just don't really use the clothesline, but I kept these pegs. They're great for just popping things on your tent. They don't weigh anything, and they're just great and handy to have along. Sometimes I just take one. Sometimes I take my compass, depending on where I'm going and how far I'm going. And then the Osprey Aether comes with its own rain cover, which is huge. And the Osprey Exos didn't come with one of these, so I tend to use this if I'm using that pack instead. These sit mats are fantastic. This is a Karrimor one. I've got about 3 of these in different colours, but they open up, they weigh nothing, and I've used this for years and years, and I'm always happy I've got it with me. Over to my electricals. This is my power bank. It's an Anker 20,000 milliamp. It's brilliant. Charge it up. I think I get about 5 charges on an iPhone with this. This is my Joby GorillaPod. It's a mini one for a phone. You can open it up, pop your phone in here, and it's great. You can just pop it on top of a fence, on a branch, and use it for your vlogging. I've got a really basic selfie stick from Amazon. It's got like a little tripod at the bottom, and it extends. Nothing special, just does what it needs to. There's a Bluetooth button just here. I also have my DJI Osmo Mobile 6, which is great. Gimbal, getting some tracking shots and a steady panning shot. Comes with its own tripod, which has got a really good base, so it's really sturdy. Whereas this one isn't. It's forever falling over. At the end of my Rush Up Edge video, I think it was, yeah, this fell over. I included it on the outtakes at the end, but I sometimes put a peg in the bottom to keep it still. And I've got my Anker lightning cable. Forget this and you're in trouble. And then I've got my iPhone headphones, which are great for late at night in the tent when you want to listen to some music, or you're watching YouTube videos and you don't want lots of noise. And finally, with my electrical items, I have this Boya microphone set, which I'm using at the moment. The green light's on, which means the noise reduction feature's working. I've got a separate review on this. So if you fancy knowing more about these Boya microphone sets, have a look at that review. So to conclude, at the moment I'm quite happy with my wild camping kit. There are things I could do to improve the weight. I could take my Osprey Exos 48 instead of the Aether 70. I could leave my cooking table at home, and those non-essential items that you don't really need can stay. So, but it's all in the fun of it. The fun is the trying things out. It's the chase in finding the items that work for you. And certainly it's a journey. I'm not sure it'd have been quite so much fun if I'd have had the perfect kit at the very start of my wild camping journey. It's something I love to do. It's great fun. I'd recommend it, but just make sure that you follow those principles of leave no trace and just look after those hills and they'll look after you. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video.